means that we are uh, having our virtual turn up today, and we are going to have some major fun. I hope you guys decide to come out today and enjoy some of the things that we have. I put it up on our Facebook page, the event and a location and everything. So I'm going to try to make the inspiration in 30 a little bit shorter, hopefully. It just depends on where we go so that I can go ahead and just move throughout the day. But I want to welcome you guys and thank you. You know what? Thank you to everybody who donated. I mean, the goal is to raise $2,500 for the Harbor of Hope, and so far, I think we are at 600 and something dollars, but that's okay. Because we're gonna ride it out to the end of the month, and I strongly believe and know that we're going to get to our goal. Hey, Bree. Hey, Cara. And all of you guys who have donated $25 or more, your shirts are in the mail. The postal mailman told me that they will arrive on Monday. So if you can, just take a picture of your shirt, spread some love, because we want to go ahead and we want to post it for Harbor of Hope to let them know that we stand with them, that we love them, and we want to be able to present, the money in all of our names just to show our gratitude and just to show that, we stand behind them. So thank you guys. And if you can come out, you go to pinkweek.imlovingme.net, Bree, and just hit the donate button and you could donate any amount you want. If you donate over $25, I'll send you a shirt in the mail. You'll get one of our pink shirts that we have. You can either get it in pink or black. So, and if you live in Atlanta, come on out and join us tonight. It's short. It's going to be 2 hours, but we are going to dance. We're going to laugh. We're going to fellowship. And we're just going to celebrate our survivors. And we are going to have some fun. Consider it being like a happy hour, right? You come out, you enjoy and fellowship with us. I get to hug on you. I get to see you in person. And we just going to have some good old fun. So please come on out for that. Okay. And then Sunday, we are having our Empower Her Soul with our coach, Ellie Curry, as she talk about the principles of unstoppable confidence. How can we become more confident to do all the things that we want to do in our life? Okay. And so I want to be able to, have you guys come out, and that's how we're going to end our Pink Week on a high note and go ahead and have some fun. Okay. Thank you. I would appreciate that. Bree. Thank you. And so, we just gonna have some fun for the rest of the week. So starting today all the way to Sunday, we'll have, some events and everything that is going on. So I'm happy about that. But what I want to talk to you guys about today is something that I really want you to think about, because it's probably something that we really don't pay attention to, and that is what we are receiving. And I tell you what happened to me so you can understand what I'm talking about. So uh, yesterday I was working and doing all that stuff, right? But I went to see a friend, and I went to her house. And when I went to her house, she was there, the grandma was there, and the son is there. They doing online learning and things like that, right? And so we were just talking and laughing and stuff. And she was like, I just don't understand why my son is not, learning to the capacity that he's supposed to learn. I know he can do the work. I know that he's smart and everything, but I just don't know why he's not applying himself. He would rather be on YouTube and do all these different things than sit and learn. So I was trying to tell her, I said, because you're sitting in one place. Think about it. If we sat in one place right? For more than 2 hours, we start to get antsy, right? Our ADD kicks in and everything. But when a kid has to sit there, they really are off the rocker, right? Because they're thinking about all the things that can be doing. School is boring for them. The reason why, what makes it interactive, is because you are around your friends. You get to play, you get to pass notes, you get to go to lunch, you get to do all these things. So now that you are at home and it's just you and the computer and some headphones, that's a hard thing to take, right? Because as humans, we need that relationship, we need that connection, right? So y'all check this out, right? I Vanessa, yes, I did get your donation and I sent your shirt in the mail. You should get it on Monday. So check this out. So we talking about that, right? And the mom, she busts out and she says, "Well, I don't know why you having a problem, you know, uh with the way that he is. He's been an addict his whole life, right?" And so of course I'm getting uncomfortable because I'm like, what in the world is she talking about, right? She said, "Yeah, you've been drugging that boy ever since he was little because you've been, giving him the little Ritalin or whatever they take for ADHD or whatever." She was like, "You've been giving him that his whole life. So why do you expect him to pay attention to anything that you're saying? I mean, and if he gets on something later on in life, that is your fault, right?" And it was like dead silence because I'm sitting up here like, oh, no, she didn't just say that, right? And I could tell, like, on my friend's face, she just felt defeated because I remember when it was a battle for her to see if she needed to put her kid on some kind of, sedative to kind of calm him down so he would pay attention in school while he was in school, right? So, how we do with society, right? Whatever society tell us is wrong with our kids, some of us fall into that trap, right? And when the mom said what she said, and she got that look on her face, she was just like, "No, I did not. No, I did not. I just wanted him to calm down and concentrate in school." And the mom was like, "No, you drugged that boy and now he's an addict. And now he can't pay attention even if he's sitting in one spot. So you can't expect him to go ahead and now just overcome that, where as he gets older, he probably get hooked on something else." And I was like, "Oh my God." And I was just like, "Ooh, wait a minute. Now she has a choice, right? To receive what her mom is saying or to go a different route, right?" But you can tell that it was all in her face, that she was just processing everything her mother was saying because she started to justify why she did what she did and everything, right? So I let time go by. And it just wasn't sitting right with me because I was like, damn, that is how, that is exactly how we get caught up in believing things that people tell us and say, because it is not our enemies, right, that says bad things to us, because our enemies, we know that they don't like us. It is the people that we love that hurt us. And because the people that we love hurts us, we receive their information and we take it on as our own, their thoughts, their beliefs, and everything, because we allowed them in our space where the things that they tell us can be their opinion, but we take it on as our own. And then we start to reevaluate our life, right? So I called her. Later on that night And I said, hey, how you doing? She said, oh, I'm doing fine. I'm cooking. Da, da, da. I said, I want to piggyback on something that your mom said. I said, I saw your face when she was talking about your son and, how he's an addict and all this stuff or whatever. She was like, she went, and I promise you, y'all, because this is how it happens, right? She was like, yeah, I know, but I took him off of that stuff like a year ago, and I don't know what she talking about. And I said, no, I said, it's not about if it's true or not. It is how you received it. You allowed that to process in your brain, and you took that as true. And because you took it as true, you believe now that you are responsible as to why your son is the way he is. And now you are blaming yourself as to why he's having the outcome that he's having, where you didn't even consider the fact that he's probably bored and does not like that. Like he has to find another way to be taught. But because somebody spoke into you their beliefs, their judgments, you receive that, and now you walking that out. Now you believe that that's your problem. And now you taking action. I mean, action on somebody else's theory instead of following what you already know inside. Ain't that some shit? That was such a blatant example of how we receive stuff from other people, not from our enemies, but from people we love. We process it, and then it becomes law within ourselves, where we didn't even sit and question and say, no, that ain't right. No, I don't believe that. No, I do not receive that. I do not receive that. Right? And I just said to myself, I said, damn, how many of us sit back and listen to what other people say about us and we process that as true? Your boss tells you in your evaluation, well, you know what? You got to do better with your communication. The way that you communicate with others is not really effective. And the way you can handle that is doing 1, 2, or 3. Say to yourself, now, hold on now. Hold on now. I hear what you're saying, but in me, I have a choice to receive that or not. Right? Now, I'm not talking about constructive criticism, meaning that you already understand and know who you are, and in certain type of environments, right? You just don't gel with different people. So your vibration that comes off is something that you're not giving your best on purpose. Just like I told you where I had that job. I know I was a bitch at the job. And I was a bitch at the job because I didn't like where I was. I didn't like the position I was in my life. So I can understand why I was that way. Right? And all the evaluations that I would get, they would put like needs improvement here, needs improvement. And then check this out. I would go sit with the CEO, right? Because in my mind, I've been a CEO back then for like 13 years. So sitting with another CEO, I'm sitting there like Damon Dash, like I'm going to speak boss. I'm going to speak my mind, right? I'm not going to sit up here and take what you say because I'm going to sit here and believe that's it. So he sat down and he gave me this long paper. I wish I had the paper. I got to find it. And it was like, needs improvement in all areas, right? I think the only thing that I was good at that place is my work. Everything else, as far as relationally and all that stuff or whatever, he was like, you got to communicate more. You are in this company and you are not, doing anything extra. You're not helping out with anything. You're not taking the lead on stuff. And I told them, because I don't belong here. I'm just here to do my job, and then that's it. And so he was looking at me and he got upset. I promise you he did. He was like, "You are not here to just do your job. You are here to help us build and to help us do this." I said, "Well, if I'm here to help you build and do all that, that's called partnership. That's not called having a job. You hired me to do everything on this list, correct? And if I'm going to go ahead and do everything on this list, then that is my job. That's what you paying me for, right? Anything outside of that and extra is something I don't want to do, right? So I don't receive that. I don't receive that I have to go out and help and do all that, right? But I was like that, and I knew I was like that because I didn't like where I was. But sometimes when you are in a situation where you are not aware, like my friend was, and somebody comes into you that you love and that you like and that you trust, and they speak their beliefs, their judgments, and everything on you, we have to be mindful of what it is that we receive, because unconsciously, she received everything her mother said. So then what happens, right? Now you carrying around a whole freaking U-Haul truck of all of the things that you believe is wrong with you and what you need to do right, right? And how you're going to make it and all that stuff, right? We start to do that. We start to look at ourselves and say, well, excuse me, excuse me, well, maybe they're right. And maybe, that's the way it's supposed to be. Maybe, I shouldn't have it. Maybe I did make my son an addict. Maybe I should have went a different way. No, don't allow people, just any old body, especially people you love, come and speak things into your spirit that you know is not correct. I always tell myself, when people say, God bless you, Gloria, you're doing so well and all that stuff, I say, I received that. Right. And I was on my coaching call yesterday with my coach, and that's exactly what we talked about. We talked about, what are we receiving? Right. And one of the things that she said is that, how people would speak into her life, and she would say the words, I received that. When people would say, God bless you, she said, I received that. Because the positive things that people say about you is the stuff that you want to internalize and receive. But we don't do that. We brush that stuff off and we say, oh, well, that's what you think. Oh, well, if I come and I say, Khadijah, you are so pretty. Like, every time I look at you, I just be like, wow, you are so pretty. You have the most beautiful eyes. Bree, when I look at you, I see such an amazing woman in person. The first thing that we want to do is brush it off. We'll sit there and we'll say, girl, stop. Thank you. I'm okay. Thank you so much. Oh, you are so kind. Oh, you just saying that, all that stuff. We don't internalize that stuff. But if I turn around and I say, Khadijah, you really need to get your stuff together because you ain't doing XYZ right at all. Right. And I'm only telling you this because I'm your friend. Right. And I'm only telling you this because I love you. You need to go ahead and do this, and you need to go ahead and do that, and you need to go and do this. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to get defensive. Right. And what is a defense? A defense is nothing but a mechanism to say that you process that shit. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to sit up there and you're going to make a choice. You're going to either let it become a part of you, or you're going to be aware enough to decide if this is something that you're going to receive or not. So we learned yesterday when we was like, I don't receive that. I do not receive that, and go on about your business. But it was just so crazy, y'all, how easy it is and how quick it happens. I mean, quick. Where if we wasn't self-aware, anybody in that room would have said, well, you know what? Mommy might be right, because the system does drug the kids now, right? And mommy might have a point, because when you do look at it, you are teaching your kids how to use a sedative while they're younger. So you can't get mad if they start smoking weed or doing drugs when they're older, because they have always been looking for they have always been used to a sedative or something to calm them down. I can see that, right? There would have been people in that room that would have been on mommy's side, and then it would be those people who are aware to say, girl, don't receive that. Don't receive that. Because what you're doing is you are condemning me, and you telling me that my actions and things that I decided for my child was wrong. You didn't like it. And now you're pressing that upon me, where whatever decisions that I make for myself and for my kids and for my life is mine. I'm the only one that have to live with those repercussions. So I'm not going to receive your judgments and your perceptions on top of that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do some self-discovery for myself, right? I'm not going to receive the fact that you think I'm ugly, right? But we do. How many of us say, if we a little overweight and we trying to go out with our friends, we be like, well, I ain't really got nothing to wear. Nothing in my closet actually fits. And I have to go out and get bigger clothes. So I don't want to be out there like that. And my arms are flapping and all that stuff. So I just rather stay home. We already battling with our own minds, right? We already receiving the negativity that we tell ourselves that we are working on. And then when outside people come and tell us, if we ain't got it all together on the inside, y'all, if we are still condemning ourselves and talking negatively to ourselves, anybody can come in and influence us and judge us and tell us something about us that we know is not true. But we will walk it on out and believe it, because inside we believe it for ourselves. Ain't that some shit? So the only thing that they're doing is validating the negativity that you feel about yourself. And that's exactly what the mom was doing, because inside, mommy already felt that it was her fault her child was the way that he was. It was her fault that he wasn't learning. It was her fault. See, it's kind of like the law of attraction, right? Like attracts like. So you have to have two things on the same wavelength in order for them to attract. So mom only said out loud what mommy was already thinking. You get that? Right? She was only said out loud what mommy was already thinking. She just said it in a way in which she could comprehend it. I don't think mommy was thinking to that extreme, but she probably was thinking like, well, maybe, the Ritalin didn't work, or maybe it's the effects of this, or maybe it's something else where it just came out, right? Where it just came out. And so now, because we already have this negative feeling about ourselves and we are receiving this negative stuff in our life, Other people can bring us negative shit and we'll just internalize it. Right? Where the truth is, in order for us to get beyond all that mess, y'all, we have to confront ourselves and who we are. I heard this quote from one of the people I was listening to, one of the pastors I was listening to, and he said, "You'll never be able to defeat something you can't confront. You will never be able to defeat something you can't confront." And that's exactly what I told my friend yesterday. You'll never be able to defeat something you can't confront. You have to look that thing in the face. You have to get honest with yourself. You have to understand and accept the choices you make in your life and what you have made in your life. And you have to be okay with those choices. And you cannot beat yourself up about the choices you made. Why? Because your mindset was totally different back then. The mind that you have now and the mind that you had then is different. But what we know for sure is everybody is only going to give you a perception of who you last were in their life. And they would tell you, I remember when you used to hang out. I remember when you used to smoke weed. I remember when you used to do this. I remember how loose you was. I remember, because that's the memory, right? But those things that they try to bring into our life, those positive things we can receive. Khadija, Bree, Vanessa, Cara, you guys are amazing. I love you. You don't know me, but I know that you are going to higher heights in your life. You're becoming more self-aware. You are really going to live out your dreams and all that stuff, right? Hearing that, you have to be able to receive it and know it. The minute you sit up there and you say, yeah, okay, but that's for you to say, well, my pockets don't say that, and my life doesn't say that, and how come I don't have the love I want yet, and how come I'm sitting in this house alone, and how come I'm doing this? That's because you are receiving all that negative stuff that you're telling yourself. That's because you're not allowing yourself to let in those things, right? If everything is relative and how we look at things, my apartment could be big or small, depending on what I think, depending on what I'm comparing it to, right? If I'm comparing it to my house that I had, this apartment is very small, right? But when I look at it and I see it for what it is mine. This is my starting point. This is my rebirth. This is where I'm birthing my vision. This is where I am going to go to higher heights. This is my humble beginnings. This is where my life has changed. This is where I found growth. This is where I found love. Right? Everything is relative. The way we perceive things is what it turns out to be. Right? So don't let those people or yourself, the biggest thing is yourself, because if somebody tells you, hey, Kimberly, let me tell you something. You've been walking around with blinders on for the last 10 years. Okay. Those glasses that you have on, they're really blinders where you really can't see the world. If I told you, Kimberly, if a doctor, when you were born, surgically put a red lens over your eyes, and now you are 45 years old, what is it that you see? Do you see red or do you see life? You see life. You don't even know what red is. Khadijah comes along and say, hey, Kimberly, why you got those red lenses on? Take those off so you can see color other than red. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to get defensive because you're going to say, what the hell are you talking about? I don't have on red anything. What the hell is red? Right? Because it's challenging your morals and values. It's challenging your way of life because now somebody has told you something different from what you experience. And now you have a choice to receive it or not. Right? Now you have a choice to say, I don't accept that. What I see is life, and life is life. Right? Or you could say, well, do I have red lenses on? Do I have is something wrong with me? Am I not seeing the world for what it is? Is my eyes really surgically the way they are? You question yourself all day long. Is everything I've been living in my life a lie? Am I really as good as they say I am? Am I really that lazy? Am I really that ugly? Am I really that big? Am I really that unlovable? No, not at all. It all depends on what you receive and what you accept as true, right? And it takes practice because remember, outside people can't influence you. They can't tell you anything you don't already believe. You get what I'm saying? Everybody, look at your environment. That's why it is so important. If you want to know where you're going in your life, and if you want to know how life is treating you, look at the people around you. That's what you're attracting. And if you don't have nobody around you, you attracted nobody. You are resisting people. And you have to figure out why. Right? And the reason is because you complain, and well, I can't find nobody. And every time I go out there, men, they only want one thing from you and this and that and all that. So you come back and there ain't nothing happening because you're fighting it. Right? You look at your friends, you see how life is going with your friends. They are the effect of what you already believe about yourself and your life. Right? Life is not happening to you, life is happening for you. And the people around you are the effects of the energy that you are giving out. So when you go to work and you continuously running into that boss who you don't like and all that stuff, you are emitting that energy in yourself, and it's just coming right back to you. Right? If you go into work and you are happy, or you get online and all that stuff and you are in a good vibration, that stuff is contagious. It's going to come back. The negativity is contagious too. But we believe the negative because there are some parts in us that believe that is true because we tell it to ourselves in secret. We tell it to ourselves when we are alone. Right? So we got to be careful when people are telling us things about ourselves like they know us. That's the point where you got to check yourself and say, what in the world is going on in me that will make them say that? What's going on in me that will make them say something negative like that? What in the world am I battling with that will give them the courage to tell me what they think? And if you find yourself saying silently in your head, well, you know what? That might be true, right? Bree, you can't get a man, girl. Every time you try to go out and get a man, you always find something wrong with them. You don't like their teeth. You don't like their clothes. You don't like nothing. And the minute, Bree, that you say, well, I just like what I like. And sometimes, the guys, they just don't have what it is. You accepted what they said because there's something in you that already believes that. Where really you have to look at yourself and says, why am I so judgmental when it comes to dating? And why am I in an environment where I'm getting this feedback from friends and people around me that's throwing their judgments back on me, telling me, validating me on my judgments? What am I doing? Because whatever it is that I'm doing is bringing out this negative energy. And that's why my king can't come, because I'm I'm not there yet. You get what I'm saying? So we got to be aware of that. We have to be aware of how people talk to us, what people are saying, and how we receive information. Okay? I mean, I thought that was a powerful lesson yesterday, because I was just saying to myself, like, damn, just like that, she received it. And just like that, she started to blame herself and do all this stuff. And it came from a person she loved. So it immediately took hold of her. And I was like, damn, man, imagine us being kids. And all we had to look at was our mother and father and parents or guardian to speak life into us and to speak things into us. Look at us now. We carrying that shit around, right? We still remember. We still know. We still looking at it, saying those things that they said to us. Because at the time, we received it. Because we didn't have no choice. They were the eldest. They were the guardians of our life. And now that we challenge that, we got to filter through a whole bunch of to find out who we really are. Right? And it's okay to say, I don't receive that. I don't receive that. As kids, we couldn't say that, because when you're a kid and your mom say, well, you a badass kid. I don't know how you got this way. You act like your daddy. You sitting up here and you talking back and you saying all this stuff. You're never going to amount to anything. I'm so afraid for when you get older, because I don't know what you're going to do with your life. You're just going to live under a man and do all this, and you're not going to have nothing. That sticks with you. And then when we see that walking out in our life, what do? We validate it, right? We say, well, my mama already said, she already knew that this was going to be my life, even though I didn't want to believe her back then, but that's what she told me. That's what she said to me. And then you got aunts and uncles and everybody in your family, cousins and everybody that said, well, Big Mama always said you wasn't going to be anything anyway. So the life that you living now, when you always need help and you always need this and you will never find nobody, that's why you can't find nobody. Because of your stink attitude and because of this and because of that. All of that we internalize. But we have to have a break where we say, I don't receive that. I know I'm better than that. I could change my life for the better. I deserve love. I am love. I can live the life I want to live. I can be that person that I see in my head. I know that that person is down in there somewhere. And I'm not going to receive any more of the shit that you telling me. Because I'm going to change my mind first. Because you can't tell me that if I don't believe it for myself. You can't pour into me if I don't already have it in here. You can try to push your judgments and stuff on me. But now I got a choice. I get to say, I don't receive that. You can go on with yourself. I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. And that's it. I got to go. I love y'all. If you're coming out today, come on out. I would love to see you and hang out with you, dance with you. We're going to dance a little bit, twerk a little bit for 2 hours and raise some money and do all wonderful kind of things. So I got to go. Went over time like I was supposed to, but I wasn't supposed to, but that's all God. Wherever he allow it to go, that's where he allows it to go. So we will be live on Facebook tonight, starting at 6:00. So you get to see everything. You get to see us dance and hang out and raise money and just enjoy our time. So I'll see you guys.